Rob.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, when a Super Bowl winning coach steps down, it's typically, I don't know, not good news, but maybe it is. Does a team get better when a guy with a ring steps down? Some of you seem to think so. Really, what matters, does Tommy think so? Bruce Arians, well, steps up into the front office. Is that up or down? Steps away? Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, former head coach of the Jets, is now the new head coach of Tommy's Buccaneers. What does it all mean? United needs a closer. Kenley Jansen just got traded. Mariano Rivera might be available. Find a closer to be able to put him away. Another late goal last night out at the ball pitch in penalty time, in extra time, in stoppage time. And it was a 2-2 draw with Oakland Roots. Opening drive, good morning to you. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What it do?
Can you close?
Let me warm up the arm a little bit, see how it goes.
You know, you said it on Monday. The old habits for United have kind of come in, where these late match equalizers have really been a problem last year. They seem to be, again, the last two matches at home. I don't know, when do you start a trend? They won the first two matches and were 2-0. They are still undefeated. But when does a trend start? The last two nights at home, Orange County on Saturday and then Oakland Roots yesterday. The equalizer came in stoppage time, and they walk out of there with 1 point in kind of a deflating draw.
Back-to-back deflating draws. This is a team that could be looking back at these two games late in the season, wondering what could have been when you drop 4 points at home that are right there, that they were in the bag and then they were ripped from you at the very end, because they're in a situation where they're without two starters defensively, three big players overall. If you look at, Josh Suggs hasn't played the last couple matches as well, and United was in a position to get these victories at home. They have a favorable early home stretch on the schedule. These are ones that you're going to be kicking yourselves about down the line because of where you were, and you can say, we were close and we're okay because we weren't healthy, but it would be that much better if you get those points at home early in the season, because it's going to be a tight race. You're going to be battling for position late in the year, because the one thing they have shown off is the attacking talent is deeper on this team than it has been. So there's still a fairly high ceiling for this squad, but these are two really frustrating games that are going to pop up later in the year.
So you attribute these to injuries, right? It's guys that weren't there. This is something that will rectify itself, you feel, when they get their defensive players back.
Yes.
Okay. So not a concern.
Well, it's concerning, but there's a way to get out of this one, because you are without two standout starters on that back line.
All right. 2-2 last night at the ball pitch. If you were there, you want to get into it, you can. Next up, I can't see that far. I think it's the Open Cup, right? I believe the Open Cup is what's coming up next, which will be next Tuesday out at UNM Soccer Complex. All right, if you want to get in on that, you can. I think everybody was surprised yesterday when we saw the headline come down that Bruce Arians was stepping down and Todd Bowles was taking over. And then it was well, Tommy wanted this. Well, Tommy didn't want this. This is why Tommy came back. Tommy had to know. And it all becomes about Tom Brady because, well, of course, everything's about Tom Brady. And I got my Edward message that this is the guy who kept Tom Brady from winning his 8th ring. I think Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, the Rams might have had something to do about it, but okay. Is Arians all of a sudden this horrible coach? Like why did everything come down that everything spun on me yesterday? Like, I always thought Arians was a player's coach. I always thought the players liked to play for him. I'm pretty certain I saw the man win a Super Bowl, but maybe that was all Tom Brady, and then it was his fault when they didn't win. What don't I understand? If the man wants to move on and do something else, and he's done, and he's been coaching for 50 years, good for him. And he was in a place where he was able to set it up. He's been very verbal and also been very active in regards to diversity hires. He's got a black offensive coordinator in Todd Bowles. He has a black offensive coordinator in Byron Leftwich, both of whom I do believe, one is now, one I do believe will be soon a head coach. Byron Leftwich, I think, was one of the 2 finalists for the Jacksonville job. So he's walked the walk in that. He was in an opportunity to be able to, I don't know that he was able to promote, but certainly set up and suggest and have Todd Bowles get that job, a job in which he can succeed. This isn't a reclamation project. So I guess I was spun a little bit on this whole narrative that he was horrible and he was a horrible guy and nobody wanted to work for him. Like, where did all that come from 13 months after winning a Super Bowl?
Tom Brady stands. Because Bruce Arians is the opposite of Tom Brady.
Okay.
Bruce Arians is all those things that you said. And some of the stuff that was coming up was he wasn't working hard enough for Tom Brady. Like, Bruce Arians was a guy that actually understood life in the big picture. And all we're sitting here is joking that Tom Brady hates his family.
Yeah.
Because he can't step away from the game of football. So it feels like there's a little bit of that, that he wasn't that absolute grinder. But look at Bruce Arians' career and tell me that dude's not a good coach. You can't.
Well, you can't. Do it. And well, he didn't win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. Okay, stop. So
their defense played a big role in that.
Didn't they?
Yes, they did.
I mean,
that's how they beat the Chiefs.
All right.
Was their defense.
I look at this whole thing. When Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, did I dream this? Or was the narrative not, well, look at Tommy, and he looks happy, and he's playing for the opposite of Belichick, and after 20 years under Belichick, he finally gets to be him, and he gets to have fun, and he gets to throw the damn trophy boat to boat, and he gets to go out and get hammered in public, and gets to say the things that he never said when he was playing for, like because Arians was the opposite of Belichick. And there's more than one way to be good, by the way. Now, I'm not telling you Arians is Belichick good. I'm telling you he's good. But did I dream all this crap? That the narrative was Brady went to somewhere where he was playing for a guy who was the opposite of Brady or Belichick, and after all these years, this is what he wanted. Now, granted, he went to 9 damn Super Bowls up there. But did I dream all that?
You did not dream all that.
Okay.
I think this is a situation for Bruce Arians where I don't think we can totally dismiss that things weren't perfect between him and Tom Brady because there was just far too much stuff going on that we talked about.
Yeah.
But it's also Arians taking control and going, guess what, Tom? While some might think that you're in total control, that you forced me into this situation, I'm still in control of this because guess what? I'm picking the next head coach. I'm picking the dude that's leading this team right now, knowing that Tampa Bay can still win at the highest level, compete for a championship, and I'm stepping away in this window for Todd Bowles.
Tom Brady's response: I'm so happy you will spend the much-deserved time with your loving and supportive family that has given you so much, given so much to our communities. Congratulations on an amazing coaching career, but more importantly, how you positively impacted me and everyone else in the game of football. That was part of Tom Brady's goodbye note, I guess. So, is this more about Brady or is this more about Bowles and Arians? Because it feels to me it's all about Brady.
It was always going to be all about Brady.
So Brady's got to. Do we know his relationship with Bowles? Everybody's telling me what they think. Do we know anything about this? I got to believe the Glazers, the owners, weren't going to rubber stamp this if Brady wasn't on board, right? Because if Brady walks in today and says, trade me to San Francisco or trade me to Miami, they got a problem. I got to believe they're in front of that, right?
Oh, yeah. They were hanging out together at the Manchester United game.
Who was?
Tom Brady and the owners.
Okay.
Before that announcement came out.
All right. So they're down.
So they
and this didn't just happen
They're
yesterday.
dotting all the I's, crossing the T's. Like, they knew all this stuff was in motion.
All right.
Yes.
I've listened to so much vitriol and garbage. I just want to make sure I didn't dream that whole year where Brady was out having fun and look how great it is when he's in a looser environment and he gets to be him. Oh, and they're winning and he gets to be creative and it's not under Belichick's thumb. And okay, but by the way, he won 6 Super Bowls under Belichick. Well, it was all him because look what Belichick's done since with nothing. I listened to that crap. as well. Well, Belichick is good, but I don't know that he's great because he hasn't won. Go down your list of great coaches. Who do you got? You got Lombardi and Walsh and Landry and Knoll and Parcells, right? How many of them won Super Bowls with multiple quarterbacks? I know that I think Landry did, right? I know Bill Walsh did. Did Landry, or is it all? It was all Staubach. How many of those great coaches went out and won with multiple? Lombardi won with Bart Starr, right? What did he do when Bart Starr left? I've been listening to this crap that, well, Belichick, though, he's got to win, and he's only, he might be great, but now he's just good because look what he's done in the 2 years, and Brady went out and won. Brady went into a perfect situation with a really strong team, perfect situation, and won. And left in a COVID year, Bill Belichick with half his defense opting out, and who's the quarterback that year, Cam Newton?
Yeah.
All right.
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs won with Mark Rippon and Doug Williams.
Three different ones.
Who's
yeah,
the third?
Theismann.
He did win with Theismann, too. That's really good. Yeah, Rippon, Williams, and Theismann. And Bill Walsh won with Steve Young and Montana. Did Parcells win 2? He won with Phil Simms. Did he win with Jeff Hostetler? Right, but there's not, like when you want to go back and look at them, there's not that many of these great coaches that you tell me all the time. I mean, no one with Bradshaw. Landry won with Staubach.
Parcells won his second Super Bowl backup quarterback.
Jeff Hossens.
Yeah, playing in place of Simms.
Yeah.
Phil Simms.
Yeah. Yeah, but Phil Simms played most of the year.
Yeah.
You know. It just all right. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into this. What does it mean? What does it mean to you guys? I mean, Arians. What do you think when Arians moves out and Bowles moves in? What was your reaction?
I was surprised,
Same.
but it's one that you start. All right, let's go through these layers. Let's look at it. I think there's both guys, Arians and Brady, trying to assert themselves in this situation. Arian, I think it's definitely much more comfortable with this whole thing than Tom Brady was of actually retiring and what life without football is like. With everything
Where's he coming back in
he's
47 days?
And it's one to where, all right, maybe you don't think I'm committed enough. That's fine, but guess what? I'm still going to go out on my own terms, and I'm going to give my guy, Todd Bowles, an excellent chance, and he's going to be your head coach this year.
Yeah.
So have fun.
What'd you think?
I totally thought this was on Tom Brady's decision. I do like Todd Bowles, though. I'm going to
Do
say
you think
that.
Tom Brady forced this
I think he was part of the decision making.
on Arians leaving, on Bowles
Yes.
being the guy?
Yes.
One, the other, both.
Both.
So
He was like, if he was okay with the situation, and
kinda-
if he wasn't, I'm sure he's going to get traded.
I kind of agree with the latter, that he was in on Bowles being the guy, right? He had to be, didn't he? He had to give his okay on
yes.
Bowles. I don't know. So you're saying he was in on kind of forcing Arians out too?
I don't know if it was forcing, but I think he's in control of what happens.
Interesting. Okay. 505-246, we're going to go through this. 8:30, Jerry Palm will be with us, senior writer, bracketologist, all around everything at CBSSports.com. We're going to get into the Final Four, which is days away now. Carolina and Duke is all anybody wants to talk about. There is another game, though, just in case you want to pay attention to that. We'll get you a Tiger update. The Valero Texas Open is now underway if you're into the golf thing. Big news for Nota Begay locally. Shaheen Holloway, the coach of St. Peter's, has cashed in on that run, as he should have. And, boy, the NFL just gives, doesn't it? It's the opening drive. Thanks for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
House is going to test the NBA waters. Some of you are kind of freaked out about it. Some of you are upset. Some of you are stoked about it. The Lobo point guard transferred from Arizona State, who had a nice year, was 3rd team all-conference, is announced that he is going to do within the rules. He's going to get an approved agent and see where he stands in regards to the National Basketball Association. He's left the door open to be able to return to college, to return to the University of New Mexico, as he's already used his 1-year free transfer, without that free meaning without having to sit out. And I was watching the social media yesterday, and some people just losing their mind, and others that understood the process.
We need to explain to people what's going on.
Yeah, and go ahead, because this is, and I'll hit the overview, but this is well within the rules, and I think 2/3, if not more, of the young men who did this last year returned.
Every
to college.
collegiate athlete should be doing this right now.
They get to see where they.
But it's become a thing where you have to announce it, and it freaks people out.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and explain it.
So essentially, all Jalen House is doing is saying, I am going to talk with an agent to get confidential evaluations from NBA front offices and scouts about my game, and I don't lose college eligibility for talking with people like you would in the past. And so he has until June 1st to withdraw from the NBA draft pool, becoming an eligible player for being drafted and then coming back to college. You know, it's something that it's still new. People are learning about, but when I see an announcement like that, when I see a crafted statement, when I see a social media post, it freaks people out because they think Jalen House is leaving, and then people are like, oh, he's not ready. What are you doing? Come back. No, he's just getting feedback, and I think I would like to see it get to a point where these dudes don't have to post it on social media because it freaks everyone out, thinking they're leaving school. They're just getting an evaluation.
And leaving the door open to come back. And by the way, everything well within the rules. In fact, utilize the rules the way the rules were intended to be utilized. To help the student athlete, to help them, and in a lot of respects, give them enough information to prevent them from making a bad decision. Where in the past, a student athlete would have to declare, and if he didn't get drafted, if he didn't find a home, he couldn't come back and finish out his college career. In this case, the young man can, and this is David Roddy's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
David Roddy at Colorado State. Now, David Roddy's projected, I believe, at the back end of the first round. My gut tells me Jalen's going to find out, okay, here's where I stand, and probably is going to be back next year. That's my gut. Does yours tell you the same thing?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And if not, you pat him on the back and you say good luck and thanks for what you did for us, and you move on. And I know so many of you were talking about House and Mashburn coming back and running back and having one of the best backcourts in the Mountain West, and I think you're still going to be there. But this is something that the student athletes are doing. The rules are created so they can do this and protects them on the backside that they can come back and go play college basketball.
I think that's great.
I think
It
so
gives them
too.
opportunity for their future, the bigger picture, but they can still play college ball. That's awesome.
And they get some evaluation that JJ, I don't know the process on this end of it, but I think it's a feedback house, right? And I think it's pretty fair feedback. I don't think anybody's going to blow smoke up anybody's
I
backside.
didn't even know this was a thing, by the way.
Yeah,
And that's what
amazing.
it is people will see Jalen House's post and think he's leaving Lobo basketball to turn pro, and it's like he's not. It's just this. We're still in this kind of wave where all these dudes like to announce it. Like say, hey, I'm testing the NBA draft waters, but I'm keeping my eligibility. It's like, okay.
And then it kind of goes on your resume. And House, who tested the NBA last year, is averaging 16.3 points. Yeah.
Like, even if you don't feel like you're an NBA guy yet, you should still do this because it's just pretty much like you're getting a confidential review back. Like, oh, people have looked at my game. What are they saying?
So, a couple of examples of guys who have done this and returned. Orlando Robinson, Fresno State, the big guy at Fresno State. Bryce Hamilton, who I thought could have been your player of the year from UNLV, did this a year ago, came back, returned to their schools, and basically they get here, you need help on this specific area of your game or whatever it is. So David Roddy's doing it this year. He's the Mountain West Player of the Year. He can come back. Jeff Grammer says there were 260 players evaluated in this program, 267 last year. Okay, only 88 of them, that's 33%, chose to remain eligible for the draft. 88 of them, and even that's a danger zone, because do you know how many spots there are? How many draft spots there are in the draft? There are 2 rounds in the NBA draft. That's 60 spots. 60 players get drafted. So 88. Throw in the international players, throw in the seniors, there's a lot of guys who went undrafted, okay? So don't lose your mind on this. This isn't something that's, oh my gosh, he's gone. He might be. I think the odds are, with this particular young man, that he's probably going to be coming back next year, wouldn't you say?
I would, and this is the right thing for any student athlete to do, get some feedback, and all these guys are confident, but a lot of them too know that path isn't necessary just in that 60. It's like, all right, what doors could this open up as well? You know, chasing your professional dream. If you want to go overseas for a little bit, maybe just bounce around the G League to see what you got, because there's money to be made. And so you just want to learn about where you stand in the eyes of the professionals.
Yeah. So if you want to get into that, you can. If you don't understand it, if you've got a thought, on Jalen testing the NBA waters. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but that's what that means. This isn't something to lose your mind over. The young man talked to his family. Look, he comes from a basketball family now, right? His daddy was great. His granddaddy, his uncle were great. We're talking about the Bibbies and Eddie House. We're talking about a basketball family that is informed. We're talking about a family that's in a position to make decisions based on a lot of different factors. We have these conversations all the time, and guys, JJ, say I've got to go take care of my family in a financial situation. I don't believe that's the driving factor here, right? I think this is Jalen wants to play in the NBA, and when it's right, he's going to give it a shot. He's testing to see where he is now, and I think he's getting the right advice.
It's just, and I do think that there's probably a lot of guys that will do this without posting on social media, but it's the post that gets the people going.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because you just don't quite understand. This is still, relatively new with how athletes are dealing with this. Because anytime you heard NBA and a college athlete, it was immediately he was done.
Yeah.
When those words came out of your mouth, you lose eligibility.
Yeah. One other piece of note from Level Basketball, Dan McHale, who's been on the bench, and you've seen him. He was with Paul Weir's staff as an assistant coach. He was a special assistant to the head coach this year. His contract is up, and he is going to be moving on. He was the head coach at Eastern Kentucky. He was at other places, Iona and Seton Hall. He will be moving back to New York. He's going to work in a collegiate sports property, and Dan's a good guy. And best of luck to Dan. Richard Pitino's got one spot to fill, at least one spot now on his coaching staff, or on his staff, because this wasn't officially a coaching position, although, right? 505-246-0610. Probably should give you the numbers. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, it's _JJ Buck. You can watch the show, Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state. And on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Adrian's producing for you there. A. Marie's got us on the radio side. Have you thought about getting rid of contact lenses? I know you have, or glasses. Have you considered LASIK? If you've considered LASIK, or if you've not considered LASIK, but now are thinking, what's that all about? There's one place to go, and that's Coleman Vision. Dr. Stephen Coleman did my LASIK years ago, and it was life-changing. And I don't know how many things you can say in your life that you did that were life-changing and remain life-changing all these years later, and it's 19 years ago that it happened. I went in, I was anchoring the news in the morning, putting on my glasses and my contacts, and just it was misery. I was done. Went in, saw Dr. Coleman, one of the best experiences I've ever had. Had my surgery done in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, or at least went in for a 1 o'clock appointment. Opened my eyes, and it was like magic. I could see across the room. It was clear. Anchored the next morning without lenses at 5 a.m. Been that way ever since. The technology he uses is the best. It's cutting edge, and he's in on the testing of it, the development of it. And that's why people come from around the world to have their LASIK done here in Albuquerque at Coleman Vision, because Dr. Stephen Coleman is the best, and he leads the way. Coleman's have become family to me. They're great partners in our community. It's a comfortable, wonderful atmosphere, and he's going to tell you if you're not a candidate. He's not looking to pile up numbers now. He's looking to help you. And there's many people who I know who went in, they're not candidates for whatever the reason is. Go see Dr. Stephen Coleman if you're considering LASIK. The website will give you so much information. It's colemanvision.com. colemanvision.com, or call, make an appointment at 505-821-8880, 505-821-8880. Coleman Vision. Seeing is believing, and I believe.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Really cool news for Albuquerque's Nota Begay, a Hall of Famer. Now the first, he's going to be captain of the United States Junior President's Cup team, which will compete later this year in September in Charlotte as part of the 2022 President's Cup, which will be at Quail Hollow. So this is one of those really, really cool things for him, as he has been so forward, passionate, proactive in growing the game of golf. Not only here, although certainly here in his home. He moved back home, and what he's doing, but at the junior level especially, and you can catch him almost on a weekly basis on the Golf Channel. But a guy who won 4 times on the PGA Tour, and he was on that President's Cup team that won in 2000. And I think this is so cool for him. And we've reached out to Nota, and I think at some point we'll probably have a conversation with him. But This is special. I can see Noda being at some point the captain of the United States President's Cup team, can't you?
Absolutely. I'm working his way to that position. And what you said, what he's done for junior golf is fantastic.
Yeah, unprecedented, in fact.
And especially young golfers in the state of New Mexico. This was an awesome story to see. Excited to see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, I like when good things happen to good people. And Noda's good people, and he works his backside off, and he does, I really believe, I think he does the right thing. You hear me say this a lot. You do the right thing for the right reason, the right way, and usually the right thing is going to happen. And I think Noda does a lot of the right things for the right reasons, and it feels like he does them the right way. And it's good to see that the right things are happening for Noda. So that's a big deal. That is a big deal for him and for golf and for junior golf and everything involved with that. And I'm stoked for him as we move forward. Meanwhile, the Masters is next week. Tiger's name is on everybody's lips. He did play. The sources that were out there, Marie, I don't even know what that is. And I mean, again, the gopher from Caddyshack, I don't know who the hell it is. But say he played well. I didn't see a whole lot on how did Tiger feel the day after he walked the 18 holes.
I just hear everyone hoping that he is feeling okay this morning.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
He played every hole. He played with Charlie, and he played with Justin Thomas, who's good buddies with they're good friends. He played every hole. He arrived. He was in good spirits. And okay. But how did he feel after walking? And really, that's the issue, right? I mean, that's the issue.
Yes, it is.
I don't expect Tiger Woods to look like Tiger Woods at 24 playing golf. I don't expect his short game to be Tiger Woods of old. He may bomb a few. He may put some into the azaleas. But the issue is after just being broken again, by the way, a 46-year-old man who basically restructured his back and then had his leg shattered, who was it a month ago at Riviera, right in LA at the Genesis, said, I'm working on walking. Like I was pretty messed up about a year ago, so walking is something I'm still working on. Strength develop in walking. It takes time. He said, what's frustrating is it's not on my timetable. I want to be in a certain place, but I'm not. I've just got to continue walking. I'm getting better. But as I said, not at the speed rate that I would like. You add the age factor in too. You just don't quite heal as fast, which is frustrating. That's what he said back at the Genesis, right? That was February 16th. What's today? That's a month and a half ago. By the way, today's the last day of the first quarter of the year. Kind of weird. Just kind of run pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
All the other golfers are very supportive. Like Rory was like,
everybody.
Everyone's like, he's doing everything he can. That's what everyone's speaking out. He's doing everything he can.
Look, not only is he the legend to every golfer out there, but he's kind of become, in these last few years, fun to have around. I'm not sure. I think back in his prime that the golfers thought he was fun to have around, right? Because he was going to win a good chunk of the time. A, they're not worried about losing to him, and B, he adds so much to the game, right? He adds so much to everything. He adds to the purses. He adds to the ratings. He adds to the popularity of the game. He's fun to have around.
If he plays, imagine the ratings.
Yes. Yes. So I didn't see any. Did you guys see anything yesterday? In regards to how he felt?
No.
Because I was digging and I didn't see anything. But I think we get something probably today. I mean, if he played a couple days ago, is he going to try to go out and play again today? Probably, right? Probably. The Champions Dinner is next, I believe, Tuesday. Part 3 is next Wednesday. And 1 week from right now, I'm giving you scores at the Masters. Will Tiger Woods' name be on there? 505-246-0610. You said yes?
If he plays.
Yeah.
Yes, Tiger Woods is going to play the Masters. Call it.
All right.
Hot take.
No, that's good.
Hottest take.
I mean, it's
and then he might wake up tomorrow and be like, man, my leg really hurts.
Man,
Tiger Woods is not playing the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, damn, that really hurts. Yes. I don't know the answer, man. I honestly, I don't know.
You said it all, Jeff.
But I'm leaning towards it. What's that?
The win will be on the tee in the USA. Tiger Woods.
See? On the tee from the USA. Tiger Woods. That's how it goes. You never heard that at the British Open?
I have. I just apologize for not being up
That's
with
all right.
the impressions.
I mean, what am
and
I? I mean, I got to go Marty on you. Start,
quizzing me.
Do you know who Jalen House is?
I shared it on my Instagram
All right,
actually
just
this
wanna make
morning and
sure I
last night.
understand. I saw
I'm
you.
ready.
I saw you asking about your team-in-law.
Oh, I just responded by
Check
the way.
that out. I mean, I asked her the other day.
I just gave you credit.
I asked her, about her team-in-law. I mean, if your significant other's team.
People are loving it, by the way.
I came up with the term team-in-law. I mean, she kind of dug it, so she claimed it on her social media.
I just gave you credit.
Who's your team-in-law?
Is the New Mexico Bowl Twitter you? Or we're not going to say that?
It can be. I mean, I certainly have access to it. Yes.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that would be.
I gave you.
I mean, there's three of us.
My
I believe.
response is just awkward if it is you.
Yeah, there's like three of us who have access to that. Yeah. But
People are loving
The
that
pesky
term though.
Pacers.
Yeah. Yep.
Nuggets almost blew a 31-point lead last night.
That's her team-in-law.
That's what the Pacers do.
That's her,
And the
or is
Suns
that
won.
your team? Is the Pacers your team? Not your team-in-law?
Yeah, I'm committing to them. I committed to them this year. I can't turn back.
Is it a year-to-year thing?
I
Like
get-
JJ was a Padre.
Yeah,
fan last year?
yeah. Well, it's like being a Viking fan,
Who's
so
your
it's
team
very.
this
I'm
year?
watching the Pacers. I'm like, oh, this is exactly like being a Vikings fan.
Yeah,
This is easy.
100%.
Easy peasy.
Who's your baseball team this year? You got off the Rockies.
I gotta
for a
pick
year.
one.
You got one?
So
you guys just fluctuate every year?
It's where I live, to be honest.
I call this
Go Topes.
the LeBron James.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Year-to-year contract.
Totally,
Right now.
totally.
All right. So
I really like Bud Black. Not just because he's
I
from
like
San
Bud
Diego
Black
State.
too. He's an Aztec.
He's an Aztec alum.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll
But
let you know
I
what baseball
need
team is. I'll make a decision this weekend.
This Rockies front office, am I going to believe you? Because the owners are still the ones that haven't invested.
You signed Chris
My
Bryant.
my team-in-law is the Reds, though.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We'll see.
They're like, oh, we're going to trade Nolan Arenado, but
It's
then
like
go give Chris Bryant a ton of money.
Yeah.
And because we're trying to win.
What? So you haven't decided yet? Are you back on
I
the
have
Rockies? You're
a-
always going to be on the
I
Rockies.
have a week.
It's like Sid telling me I don't care about Isotopes or the Dukes or whatever he calls them, but yet tell me about them all the time. You know what I mean? All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports will be with us at 8:30 this morning. I got a bunch of emails already coming in on Jalen House that I will read for you. I want to get more into the Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles and Tommy situation. How did that go down? How should it go down? And now what? Kirtland Federal Credit Union, New Mexico strong since 1958, is your home loan leader. They're built in the heart of Albuquerque, and it is their goal to help New Mexicans achieve the dream of home ownership with the right loans, local expertise, and a relationship built on trust. The Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team is 100% local. That means your loan stays 100% local. You will never send a payment out of state. When you have a question, you'll reach out and talk to someone about your new home and talk to someone right here in Albuquerque. Meet the Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team. Get started at kirtlandfcu.org/home loan center. kirtlandfcu.org/home loan center. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, what NFL nugget do we get today? I mean, it is the gift that keeps on giving. You get a daily dose of something, and it's got nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. Oh, but is Tommy the new diva? Is it Tommy who's got to have his name out there every day? Is it Tommy who got Bruce Arians moved upstairs? It depends who you listen to. Is it Bruce Arians who kept Tommy from getting another ring? Edward seems to think so. Hello, Edward.
Well, this has been a great week. Let me say this. Let me preface this by saying yesterday's content about impacting the lives of young men and women as coaches was stellar. And call after call, Jess, and I forget the other gentleman, you could hear the emotion in his voice when he said, my wife and I gave of ourselves, and I still run into people. That was beautiful. So thank you for that content.
Can I jump in real quick
on
on that? And I know you got another point. My daughter comes home last night. She's like, she had to go to school early yesterday for something. But she says, Dad, I listened to your show yesterday. Or I listened to your show this morning. I'm like, well, thanks. I mean, I appreciate her listening every once in a while. She's like, your show's pretty interesting. You're talking about Charlie Woods and with the stuff he's going to go through and then coaches. Like, wow, you guys are pretty good. And I'm like, thanks.
Hey,
I've been doing this for a
you know
minute.
what? And she's an intelligent young woman. If you get that kind of feedback, guys, when I go to different cities, quite often I listen to the local shows. They got nothing on you, like you guys are. And I'm not trying to suck up to the hosts. You know that I like your show, and that's why you're award-winning show, recipients. Hey, let's talk about the NFL real quick. So, my team-in-law. By the way, you guys should trademark that. My team-in-law, the Tampa Brady Buccaneers. I said last year that I think Brady wanted to play to 45, and I thought that his goal was to three-peat, not repeat, but three-peat and walk off.
All right.
I'm not saying in jest. All last year when I said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers slept walk through the season, and they won 13 games. I think, and I watched every game intently, I think they played 5 or 6 good halves of football, and that is it. Jeff, and let me quantify it. In that divisional playoff game, and all credit to the Rams, they scored 3 times on complete broken coverages, particularly the last game, when they played cover zero. The cover zero safety thought they were in zone, and they were in man. They completely crapped themselves all year. And I think they left Super Bowl number 8 on the table for Thomas Edward Brady. I really do. And what happens with Arians is he didn't set a culture of excellence. He didn't set a culture of accountability. They won the Super Bowl. They were fortunate the previous year, and they just let their foot off the gas pedal, and it's so disappointing because Brady came from a culture of excellence and expectations. Belichick this year said, I'm not going to name official titles. You know what that's about? That's about setting culture and making sure everybody is clear in alignment what they want to do. Will it work? We'll see. He's only the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. So when they won the Super Bowl, they were 7-5, coming off 3 they lost to 3 good teams. And then he said, well, maybe I'll give Brady a little more control of the offense. Then they go on to win 8 straight games. Instead of throwing deep every other play, they said, let's throw to the tight end, let's throw shorter passes.
Well,
and ironically, they win the Super Bowl.
So what's the point? Are you saying they won? Are you saying they won in spite of Arians?
I think that Arians is a good coach, right, and a Super Bowl champion. But I think that it's how you handle success. Where the Rams are going to figure this out this year. It's not the success. That's the amazing part. The hard part is how you handle success. And I think they won that year despite of Arians. And Arians is probably going to be a Hall of Fame coach at some point, right, based on his coordinator years. But I think they completely crapped the bed last year. I honestly do. And they didn't show up at all. And they struggled against the Jets, and it was a good team they struggled against,
what do you make
and
of
the bad teams they struggled against.
What do you make of A-Marie's point, which is I think fair? They won because of Todd Bowles' defense. How did they beat Kansas City? Was it all Tom Brady, or was it Todd Bowles' defense a little bit? Because I think she's got a really good point.
Absolutely a great point. And Bowles, who was a pretty good coordinator with the Cardinals, and then he took the Jets job and didn't fare that well, organizational chaos. But I think if they can just get disciplined and get those guys to focus and not jerk around all year, I think they might be the prohibitive favorites to win the Super Bowl, quite honestly.
That's good.
Anyway, I appreciate you letting me share that, and good subject matter as always. And my team-in-law, I hope they win it this year.
See?
Have a delightful day, my friend.
Later. See, the team-in-law thing, by the way, should be. I probably should.
You should. That's actually great.
I probably should put something on.
People were loving it on Twitter yesterday.
Well, it's so quite descriptive, and people understand it. JT, you understand the team-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Your significant other's team is kind of yours. You kind of get them like mine's
and
the
a
Steelers.
lot of people struggle with their in-laws.
Yeah.
So
yeah, mine's the Steelers. Audra's a Steeler fan. When she bought these Ram cups, she got a Steeler one for her. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Addie. Well, never mind. How about my kid coming home last night? I listened to your show this morning.
Good job.
I'm like, well, thanks. I mean, it's nice that you listen every once in a while. Your show's pretty
True
interesting.
feedback right there.
Yeah.
Honesty.
That's pretty cool, though.
Can we get her a diary?
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I don't even know what that means. I don't. She had a poster. She had to get there early and get there before her boyfriend got to schools and ask him to the fall ball.
Winter ball?
Well, so yeah.
Winter ball is when girls used to ask.
So that's
boys,
what it is.
Or it's Sadie Hawkins.
So winter ball is actually this weekend because winter ball got pushed back because of the COVID. And so like prom's later, and so she made a big sign and got all creative and cute with puns and he said yes.
Oh, thank gosh.
So they're So
where are they going to dinner? I used to love that. We used to go to like Tucanos.
All right, so it's funny on the dinner thing. They may end up at well, I'm not gonna tell.
Okay, I don't want to be weird.
Well, no. There's a nice New Mexican restaurant up in the Heights that her lacrosse coach's wife works at, and now one of her former teammates. And so if there's 8 of them, they can get a table. So that's where they're going. That they have people in there all the time. So I think that's where they're going. But JJ, I may not be able. I probably need to call Isotope's media days at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh boy!
Because of logistics when the team gets to town and when they're leaving. And
Final Four.
Well, it is in the middle of the Final Four, and I am going to go take pictures of my daughter going to fall ball instead of going out and taking pictures of Isotopes. I hope they understand.
They'll understand.
Yeah, I hope they will. It's what I'm going to go do. But yeah, it's a big deal. The dress shopping and the whole thing, man.
Oh man, I remember those days.
So we got 2 lacrosse games on Saturday. Then she's got to go pick up the corsage. She's already ordered it on the way home. She's got to figure it out. Then get back quick. But Dad, I'm not going to have time to do my hair. I'll put on a little I'm like, whoa. I'm not going to have time to do my hair either.
That happened to me after some games.
Yeah.
I just had to put on the dress.
That's right. So she'll go straight from 2 lacrosse games to that. And then I'll see her off, and I'll go to the Denim and Diamonds Gala for Down syndrome this Saturday.
So that games are going to be on the phone.
Yeah.
At Duke, North Carolina.
That's going to be on the phone. Is that rude to sit at a gala with
Absolutely
you?
not.
I could promise you I won't be the only one.
It's your job.
I've sat at Audra's Christmas parties before with the Lobo Aggie basketball game on the phone. People kind of, at first she's like, hey, put it away. And then
some people want to watch, though.
Then everybody's around me. Hey, what's the score?
At the corner at the bar, you just have like a little TV on the
I just
table.
sit at my damn table and people bring me drinks. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30. We'll talk about that Final Four. JJ, me, A. Marie, Adrian, y'all. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and J.J. Buck.
I know it might not be the hottest take, but maybe it doesn't need to be. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with this coaching change, are going to be exactly the same. I don't know that I think it makes them better, and I don't think it makes them worse. If Tom Brady stays as the quarterback, which I believe he's going to, I don't believe that it makes him better or worse. Todd Bowles has already been there. He was the defensive coordinator. Now, where it may make them better is if they can re-sign some of those defensive free agents that are out there who may want to come back and play for Todd Bowles. The opening drive, good morning to you, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this makes them drastically better or worse?
No, it all came down to Tom Brady. That is
Does
the
it have
Tampa
everything?
Bay Bucks
Yeah.
this season. It doesn't matter if it's Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles, if Tom Brady isn't the quarterback, they will not compete for anything going into next season. What is interesting is now that somehow Bruce Arians' lack of accountability or not being Bill Belichick was the reason, like, mistakes happen. And so you're going to sit there and explain, well, the dude, they didn't know they were in cover 0. He should have been that, but yet you bring
But
in
who's the defensive coordinator?
defensive coordinator then take over. So whose fault is it? Like, they lost a back and forth game to the Rams.
Had a pretty good second half, didn't they? Up until the last 50-something seconds.
And I'm not going to sit here and go, well, Bruce Arians' lack of accountability is why Tom Brady played a bad half of football.
I love how we selectively read things and place blame. So it was Bruce Arians, the head coach's job, who, by the way, if you want to tell me the head coach is responsible for everything,
too, Jeff,
I'm down.
By the way,
Yeah.
About that, by the way,
Yeah.
everyone got lit in the offseason. You see what Tom Brady was doing on that Super Bowl parade? You're talking about setting a standard and not focusing. Like, he was living his best life, too.
Tommy was a little loopy. But I'm talking about, if you're going to tell me at the end of the game, they didn't know what coverage they were in, and everything, yes, has to fall on the head coach, but you just promoted the defensive coordinator because he's got everything down and the head coach didn't. We selectively love to be able to read things the way we want to read them, to fit our narrative. And did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did they fail last year? Do you know how damn hard it is to win, let alone repeat? Well, they had Tom Brady. They should win every game. No, stop it. What they did the prior year was sports amazing, okay? Sports amazing. They brought in a different coach. They brought in this quarterback who is a legend, and they won the Super Bowl in a franchise that wasn't very good. And then they didn't repeat. No, they got to the division playoff game. They were pretty good. It doesn't mean they were bad. They lost to the team that won the Super Bowl. But it's got to be someone's fault if you don't win, right? It can't be the other guys beat us. It's got to be someone's fault. And I get it. You can't sit on your laurels even when you win, but certainly when you don't. They didn't win at the level in which they want to win. To your point, JJ, on Todd Bowles, and it's about Tom Brady, you're damn right he's going to be a hell of a lot better coach if Tom Brady's his quarterback as opposed to Kyle Trask. Yes. You'll be a better coach and I'll be a better coach if I take over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady's my quarterback as opposed to Kyle Trask. That's their number 2 right now. I mean, yes.
And so that's why I think there is a lot of crossover between the two narratives that are going on right now. That maybe Bruce Arians and Tom Brady weren't best of friends and their styles clashed a little bit.
I thought they were getting along really well. I mean, is that...
They got along good enough to win, but maybe Bruce Arians was a little too not
structured,
a robot.
Rigid.
For Tom Brady, but then we heard all offseason, all year long that Tom Brady's living his best life. That's what he wanted. He's away. He's being himself.
Why he made the change.
He's open, and yet now we're going to sit here and somehow have these stories about, Bruce Arians just really wasn't bought all in. When we, praised Tom Brady for just looking like a regular human being for once.
How about that? He actually said things that
Now
were
it's
robotic.
like a problem
Yeah.
between him and Bruce Arians.
Because
So
they didn't win the Super Bowl.
I think these stories cross over a little bit. Maybe their styles conflicted some, but they were winners and won a lot of football games. And also, Bruce Arians going, you know what? I'm going to give my dude Todd Bowles an opportunity that he might not have gotten.
Good for him, by the way.
Any other time. To step away right now. It's his team. Let him take it over and let's go.
And so that's why, if you're going to tell me big deal, little deal, not a big deal, no deal, I'm going to tell you no deal. They changed head coaches. He went from a good head coach to a guy who we'll see if he's a good head coach. But I think they continue. It's not like they completely went outside of the building to find somebody new. They're going to continue with the culture that's already there. I mean, I don't think that this changes drastically. I don't think Todd Bowles is going to all of a sudden become Bill Belichick. Now, will he be more Belichickian than Arians? I imagine on that scale. Okay. But I don't think he's going to be Mike Tomsula. I think they're fine. To me, they're the same team they were 24 hours ago with a different head coach. Now they might be able to sign more of these defensive free agents. I think that's where it may play. It feels like the defensive guys really like playing for Todd Bowles, and he might be able to convince some of these guys who are free agents to come back. The Ndamukong Suhs.
Yeah.
That's where it might play in. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610. That's how to play radio with us today. 505-246-0610. Your emails are coming in, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Other big stories locally, Jalen House, global point guard, is testing the NBA waters. Relax. He is doing what 288 players did last year, going to get an evaluation, and then see. He has left the door open within the rules to come back and play college basketball, to play for the Lobos. United lose. No, they don't lose. It felt like a loss. United draw last night at the ball pitch. They were up 2-1. You went into stoppage time, and for the second game in a row at home in stoppage time, the opposition from California, this time the Oakland Roots, were able to get the equalizer. 2-2 was the result.
I love the Roots jerseys.
I love their logo, their jerseys. I loved all of it. Yeah.
Little Oakland athletics to them.
Yeah.
The green and yellow.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So Orange County did it to them on Saturday, and got out of there with a draw. And as opposed to piling up 6 points over the last two home matches, New Mexico United collects 2 points with the two draws. I said earlier, maybe it was Mariano Rivera. They need a closer, JJ. You're playing in a ballpark. How do you? They need Kenley Jensen, Mariano Rivera, Al Raboski, Bruce Sutter. Give me some of the great closers of all time. Kent Tekulve, find me one. Speech, good morning to you. How you living?
Hey, how you doing, Jeff?
Good, what's up?
Hey, on this Todd Bowles hire, I'm just wondering why they didn't pick
Byron Leftwich.
Brian Leftwich.
Byron, yeah, their offensive coordinator.
Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback. He's more offensive guy.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had that opportunity, and Byron Leftwich was a finalist for the Jacksonville head coaching job. Who got that? Doug Peterson? I believe got that. They're in win now mode. They went with a guy who's been a head coach before. Bowles has been with the Jets. I don't know what the discussion was internally. I'm going to guess Tommy had a little bit of input on that, but that's the way they went. They had two coordinators. Both of them happen to be African American, and so and one evidently was more ready to go than the other. I don't know why internally they went that way as opposed to Byron Leftwich. I've heard that question asked a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Speech. Thanks.
Well, have a good day.
See you.
Talk to you.
I don't know the answer to that question. Do you?
Maybe some seniority involved.
Maybe it's seniority. Maybe, they made a decision. He's more ready than the other guy. I wonder if it pissed off Leftwich. I don't know. And they had to pick one of them, right? They were both interviewing for jobs in the offseason. One guy evidently was more ready to go than the other.
Well, it's Bruce Arians' decision.
Is it
and
all?
It's Todd Bowles.
But does he have the authority to hand it? I mean, the Glazers had to sign off on that,
Well,
right?
they signed off on it, but Bruce Arians said Todd Bowles is the guy I want to give.
Yeah, but if the Glazers said, no, we're going to go with Byron Leftwich, it's their team.
Mhm.
Right? And then they would all go to Tommy, well, what do you want? I mean, whose team is it really? We get down to this, by the way. Whose team is it really? Is it Tommy's? All right. I'll get you some emails when we get back. Oh, I was watching the Twitter yesterday. There's a lot of Chris. Did you see Chris Jans all over campus at Mississippi State? And we'll catch up with Chris. I'm giving him some room to breathe, and hopefully in the next week or two, he'll come in. But he's got y'all down now good. Like he's sitting down and he's meeting with people, and he's like, "Well, y'all gonna come out to the games now? It's good to meet y'all." Like he's got the Southern y'all thing down. Now he doesn't sound like
he didn't
like
go
Brian Kelly.
on him,
He
right?
didn't go family.
Like my family.
But he's got y'all
family.
Yeah. Who's it was telling me? Was it you? Somebody told me. Greg Heyer was on the other day. The New Mexico State basketball. It was Jared. He said he sounds like every other coach. Got a little bit of a drawl to him. And I said, yeah, it has late season coach's voice.
And I love Jerry Kill's voice.
Jerry Kill's got more than a little bit of a drawl. Yeah, that's a full on drawl. All right, I'll read you some emails and correspondence when we get back. You can get in at 505-246-0610. Tell you what y'all are thinking. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30 this morning. He'll be down in New Orleans where y'all will be having some big basketball games this weekend. That'll be called the Final Four. That's coming up at 8:30. It's the opening drive, y'all, for you and your family. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it, we smash it.
Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport.
All right, so Jalen House is going to test the NBA waters, see where he is. How feels you? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Jalen is entered into that, what's it? The program where he can get feedback, he can work with an agent, and June 1st is the deadline. He can come back and play college basketball and be a Lobo again if he doesn't want to stay in the draft. Lobo Hobo says, Jeff, this guy can test the waters 1 or 50 times, but unless he goes 4 to 5 inches, he's never going to be an NBA player. Okay, I don't know that I think that's right. I'm not sure that it's going to be now, though. Rod says, House is gone, Jefferson. At first, this made no sense, but after sleeping on it, I came to the conclusion this is the perfect time to go pro. If Dent comes in and lives up to Lobo fans' hype, you still have Hash. I said Hash to make it funny. House will be downgraded to 3rd at best. Banana. His stock is never going to be higher than it is now. Again, I don't know that I agree with that. First of all, can you play 3 guards? I think I see that happen all the time, don't you?
Is Dent a point guard?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Do you know?
No.
Dent, from what I understand, is a high quantity guard. Now, so is Mash and so is House. So where's the ball? I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch it happen. I've watched 3 guards happen a lot. What about KJ? Stop it with where's all the playing time coming from? Talk to me in January and we'll have this conversation. Okay?
You want to be a good basketball program.
But that's not what it's
you
about.
have to have talented players. And if someone gets their feelings hurt, so be it.
Well, in this case, it's about Jalen. And if Jalen thinks he's an NBA guy, then he'll be the star of that backcourt, right? Who do you think is a better NBA prospect?
Well, this doesn't mean he's going pro.
That's right. That's right.
He's getting a feedback sheet.
In your mind, who's a better NBA prospect, House or Mashburn?
I don't think either NBA guys.
Okay. Who's a better pro prospect? I guess that's not fair because it's a different game overseas a little bit. All right. James is concerned about the Lady Lobos. Jeff, when I hear about these young Phillies leaving, it makes me wonder if Bradbury's decided to bring back the core for one final run. So the minutes they have patiently waited for, they're not going to be available, and they didn't want to waste another year of eligibility on the bench. Who's leaving? You had somebody sitting at the back end of the bench.
Nevaeh Parkinson, Rebecca Rences, and Zeno Sheridan.
All right. So what does that mean to me? Talk to me about that. There's three ladies at the end of the bench that are leaving. What does that mean?
Nevaeh was a sophomore. That just did not fit the way the Lobos play.
Which is up and down.
It's 5-out offense.
Yep.
Running the floor. Rences, is one of those players you can kind of feel all season. And for Zeno, if they bring back the Duff sisters and Shai Magruder, that's still only 3 players, and you don't have guaranteed starters coming back. And I think Van Bennekom can be a solid role player. You got 4 freshmen coming in. Like, there's a lot of opportunity.
And
this has
the transfer
nothing.
portal.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with, the Duff sisters and Shai come back. Where's the playing time going to be? There's a ton of playing time available on this team.
You think they're coming back? You don't really have a feel?
I think it's 50-50 right now.
Yeah. All right. Paige Beckers could beat Jalen House anytime. Jalen House is not Trae Young, says the text line. I don't think anybody said he's Trae Young. Did they?
Nope.
Why? Because that's his build? Is that the comparison? No, I don't think anybody said that. All right, on the football stuff, on Bruce Arians, Marie, I was corrected. Bill Walsh only won with Montana. George Seifert was the coach with Steve Young. I think that's right. Yeah, thank you for the correction on that. I do think that's right. So I stand corrected, and kind of helps my point a little further, actually. It's hard to win. You tell me all these great coaches, and I'm listening to Belichick get hammered. Well, in 2 years he hasn't. What has he won? He made the playoffs with Mac Jones as a rookie, and what else did they have on that? Who's his best receiver? Jacoby Myers? Wasn't he undrafted? Oh, but he's not that good of a coach, Jeff. He doesn't have Tom Brady anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. The text line also says Brian Flores for coach at Tampa Bay, a win for both sides. They got a coach. They hired Todd Bowles. What was Todd Bowles' unfolding with the Jets? Was it just because he's with the Jets and it's a bad organization? I always felt like he was a good coach. He was a good coach in Arizona. I felt like he was respected with the Jets. He was just with the Jets. Who's won with the Jets?
One of my really good friends played for him. I should text him.
Okay, I'm kind of curious.
And see how he loved Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like most players do now.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's a lot of good coaches in this league. Good coaches get fired. A lot of the people that we joke about we think suck, they still are better at that job and know more about football than most people.
Mm-hmm.
It's about timing. And Todd Bowles would not be a good coach if Kyle Trask was his quarterback this season.
Nor would Bruce Arians, by the way.
Or Bruce Arians.
Yeah. Nor would Bill Belichick, by the way.
Like, there's good coaches, but it comes down to who do you have available?
Again, and
Who's making the plays?
We've done this exercise 1,000 times on this show over the years. But go ahead and give me one good coach that won with bad players. Go ahead. Go ahead. Did Red Auerbach? Yeah, I hear all the time. Phil Jackson had Kobe, and before that he had Michael, and of course he won. Red Auerbach's the best ever. Did Red Auerbach ever win anything without Bill Russell? John Havlicek, JoJo White, all those greats? I mean, it's amazing how the good coaches tend to have good players. Isn't it? It's just amazing to me. All those great baseball managers, Tommy Lasorda was winning. They had pretty good players, right? Before that, when Sparky Anderson was winning with the Big Red Machine, and he had Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and Joe Morgan and Davey Concepcion and the Big Red Machine. It's amazing how good he was. So, yes, good coaches and good players go hand in hand. Now, you can name me a litany of good players who did not win, right? You can name me a litany of good players, and I can give you good players who didn't win with good coaches. Didn't Marino play for Shula? Right? They didn't win anything. But it's amazing how good coaches, he's a great coach. Yeah, they had damn good players. Every one of them. Go ahead, show me. Give me one bad team that won the Super Bowl.
That's why it would be interesting to know what changed from Tom Brady, Bruce Arians winning the Super Bowl, going, oh man, I love this. This is freeing, living my best life, to now there just wasn't enough accountability.
Yeah. All right, I got JT. I got about 2 minutes for you because I got to hit the break on time. What's up, JT?
Okay, I'll try to go fast. Jeff, you hit the nail on the head, man. It frustrates me to no end. Oh, he's the greatest coach in the world. Well, Steve Kerr's a great coach. Why?
When he's got Steph and Clay and Draymond and Kevin Durant and everybody else, yep.
But when they're not playing on the nights that he gets beat by the Thunder, he sucks.
He ain't that damn good.
Come on,
yep.
Professional sports is whoever is, you know, that's why people are afraid of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, right?
That's right. That's right.
Who's the coach of that team? Nobody knows.
It's Steve Nash.
And as far as Jalen is concerned, I'm confident, just with my eye test, that we'll have him back. He can go do what he needs to do. That's fine. But he didn't show me that he's ready for the NBA. So but he's ready for us. I like his attitude. I like his work ethic, and we'll be good. Take care, guys.
See you, JT. Be careful. That's good. That's good. All right, Jerry Palm's going to be with us next. He's the senior writer, bracketologist, all-around stallion from CBS Sports. We'll get into the Final Four, which is back here on the Sports Animal on Saturday, It's the opening drive. Thank you for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans.
Sports Animal. Final Four goes to New Orleans Saturday. We'll have it all for you here on the Sports Animal. Villanova, Kansas will be the first national semifinal. And then I'm not sure you've heard, but Duke's playing North Carolina in the other one. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Last time I was in New Orleans was for a big event. It was 2 months before the COVID shutdown. It was Clemson and LSU for a national football championship. And my buddy Jerry Palm introduced me to a place, I think it was called the Gumbo Shop. We had pretty good dinner, went and shot some pool, listened to music, had a few. Jerry Palm joins us. He's going to be in New Orleans. Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you? I'm looking forward to getting back to Gumbo Shop.
Oh, that was the name of that place,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. Jerry, of course, senior writer, bracketologist, many other titles at CBS Sports. That was actually a pretty good time down in New Orleans, and it's the perfect event town, and this event's pretty big. All anybody wants to talk about is Carolina and Duke, and I get it, and there is another game that'll be played before that, but wow, Carolina and Duke is steals the headlines, and it's kind of a dream matchup for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm one of them necessarily,
Fair
but
enough.
although it will be my first Duke Carolina game because I've never been to one of the regular season ones before, so I guess I'm looking forward to that. Although I'm sure it's a completely different environment being played in a massive dome with fans from 2 other schools there that don't really care. So, but it should be it's a pretty good Final Four in the sense that you've got 4 very recognizable names, 4 pretty good teams. North Carolina, got an 8 to the left of their name, but they've always been more talented than that. It just took them until March to play to that level of their talent. But, and of course, Coach Krzyzewski's retirement party has been the dominating story in college basketball all season long. So it extends to one more weekend.
Jerry, I believe in fairy tales. I do in sports. I see them happen all the time, and this Krzyzewski thing is a fairy tale. Do you think that crowd, you talked about Villanova and Kansas fans, as it gets through that game, do you think that crowd starts to sway toward, as much as people don't want to like Duke, do you think the sentimental favorite becomes Krzyzewski, or does the neutral crowd swing towards Carolina?
I'm not so sure. I guess if they were going to swing, they'd go to Duke, but I'm not so sure they will. They just might remain neutral. I don't know. If you're not part of that rivalry, I don't know how much, other than you hope your team gets to play the winner. So maybe that's the rooting interest, is which team do you think your team has a better chance to beat?
Jerry, we just saw the matchup at the end of the season. Both these teams are obviously been clicking differently over the last few weeks. How do they match up from 1 to 5 with how they're playing right now?
You talk about Duke and Carolina?
Yes.
Duke is more talented, generally younger, but that youth has really matured in this tournament. Has come through in some tight spots late in games. Roach has been terrific. Banchero's been really good, but he's been good all year. But Roach, has really stepped up his game in this tournament, made a lot of big plays in the Michigan State game, I believe even the Texas Tech game. So, I think I think the whole Coach K last of everything had gotten to this team. I think it got to him in his final home game in front of, 100 former players. I don't think they were up for that moment. It may have gotten to him a little bit in the ACC tournament, but you haven't seen any sign of that at all, and in fact, really the opposite in the NCAA tournament. So I like Duke to beat Carolina. They're better in terms of talent, and I just expect the way that they've been playing to continue to play that way and get to Monday night.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, joining us on the opening drive. And for North Carolina beating St. Peter's, what was different in that matchup for St. Peter's versus what we saw them do against Purdue and then Kentucky in this tournament?
Well, I think they just ran out of gas. St. Peter's probably just ran out of gas because they were in pretty high cotton. Purdue was a good matchup for them because they could mess up Purdue's guards and force a bunch of turnovers, which is a staple of every one of Purdue's losses is a high turnover count. They were able to do the same thing to Kentucky. I mean, they messed with Kentucky's guards, and the size wasn't a problem. And I think when they get to Carolina, I mean, Purdue's size, wasn't a problem because, there were ways to mess up their guards. But I just think that when it came to Carolina, that was just one game too many for St. Peter's. Eventually, you're a 15 seed, and that talent's going to show up.
Do you make anything of coaching matchups when you get to this level? And I ask you this because I watched two games where I thought maybe coaching matchups made a difference. I thought Arizona-Houston, I thought Arizona was more talented, although not by far now. And a veteran in Kelvin Sampson beat a first-year head coach in Tommy Lloyd. I watched Texas Tech, who I thought talent-wise was going to beat Duke, and I watched Krzyzewski beat a first-year head coach. And here's Hubert Davis in his first time in this position up against a guy who's won 101 games in the tournament. Do you think at this level that means anything, or is that just hyperbole for guys who have 3 hours of radio to talk about every day?
I think talent on the court means more.
Well, obviously.
I would argue that Texas Tech was not more talented than Duke.
Right.
I mean, Duke's entire starting five is going to the NBA.
What about Houston, Arizona?
Starting five.
What about Houston,
Okay.
Arizona?
Houston, I mean, what Kelvin Sampson did with that team this year, I think that was more of a style issue than perhaps a coaching issue, although the coach dictates the style. But I think Houston's style is difficult to play against. They're an outstanding defensive team, and they really get into you all over the floor. And I think maybe Arizona was just taken aback by it. But I don't know, what you do differently to prepare, and especially that was no, that wasn't. I was going to say that's a quick turnaround, but it wasn't. That was a Sweet 16 game. So, no, I just think that Houston is just a difficult team to prepare, in part because Kelvin Sampson's a good coach and has the style and the athletes to play it. But no, I don't know that it's, first-year coaches. I mean, Hubert Davis is a first-year coach and beat the team, the reigning national champion. So, I don't know. It's Hubert Davis beat Duke at Duke on the final regular season. Mike Krzyzewski's final regular season game.
Look,
so I don't think he's too worried about the other coach.
In the last 3 weeks, he's gone through Duke at Duke. He's beat Baylor. He's beat UCLA. I think he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
All right, the opening act is pretty good. And I say that with tongue in cheek, certainly, because everybody's talking about Carolina Duke. Villanova, Kansas could be terrific.
Yeah, I'd feel better about it if Justin Moore was healthy and Villanova had their second leading scorer. That's one of those all hands on deck kind of games when you get to this part of the tournament, and I just think that really hurts them because it hurts their depth. Plus, he's your second leading scorer. So I don't know. I mean, they're a veteran team. They're balanced. You've got the best point guard in the country, in my opinion, in Colin Gillespie for Villanova. So, they'll go out there and fight. I just think in the end, being shorthanded in a game like this to a team that's probably more talented anyway, I like Kansas in this game because of that. But Villanova, man, that's a solid program with great players. So we'll have to see what their bench can come up with to replace Justin Moore's production because that's going to be really important.
Right, and Jerry, to that point, kind of the style of play, Nova is still one of the slowest teams in the country, so just trying to piece it together with one of the most explosive scorers. And you look at the backcourt matchup now with the way Remy Martin has been playing since he's been healthy this tournament, and Agbaji kind of coming together. Do you think it's that backcourt that really will decide this for Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, Colin Gillespie will be the best backcourt player on the floor, but Martin is great. Agbaji's an All-American, so Kansas is not lacking in talent at any position on the floor, really. And even Braun is he's kind of a big but still backcourt player. So I like Kansas. Kansas's talent is really good. They had a rough first half against Miami, where they let Miami sort of dictate style and really kind of frustrated Kansas. And then Kansas came out and really took it to them in the second half. And their superior talent was on display. Martin's been coming off the bench, and he's a real spark for them coming off the bench. But I like Kansas. I picked Kansas to the Final Four. I picked them to the championship game. Actually, I had that half of the bracket correct. I had Kansas and Villanova, and I'm sticking with Kansas. But I think we're going to miss out on what could have been a better game had Villanova been healthy.
You and JJ are on the same boat. All right, I watched 4 coaches get paid after winning a game at least one game in the NCAA tournament. Shaheen Holloway from St. Peter's, which what a run! And I'm not looking to rub that in on you, but what a run!
No, that's fine.
Seton Hall
Purdue
job.
got what it deserved.
Well, and New Mexico State, Chattanooga, and Murray State all lose their coaches after winning a game in the NCAA tournament. Who do you think has the biggest impact of those 4 hires?
Let's see. Shaheen Holloway at Seton Hall.
I think that's right too. Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. He goes back to his alma mater.
That's a place where he's just really invested, and he's a great coach. We've seen it not just in this tournament, but he's done a good job at that school generally. And that's a very tough place to be successful because their budget is like nothing.
Well, compared
it's one
to
of the smallest budgets in all of college basketball at St. Peter's. And he's got the best fit. Not that the other guys have bad fits, but he's got the best fit.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think all of those coaches would have got these jobs possibly even if they hadn't won a game.
I think that's
in the
right.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think that's right. Also, for the industry getting back together. A year ago, the Final Four didn't look like it's going to look right now. You've got everybody, talked to a number of people, coaches, athletic directors who are heading back. This is kind of a big deal to kind of get back to familiarity and have the big party that is the NCAA Final Four and have it's kind of a coaches convention, and everybody's going to be there.
It's an actual coaches convention.
No, it is. It is. I think this is huge for the industry this weekend, and I'm going to assume you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely. And what better place to restart your party than New Orleans, right? Which is coincidence because this is decided much further in advance than 2 years. But it's a great. The committee has been talking about that. The most important thing about this year's tournament was getting back to as normal as we possibly could. We didn't have. I don't know if we had players sitting out because of COVID. We certainly didn't have any team issues, COVID issues. I know it wasn't the same at every site because of local regulations from place to place. But it was, I was in Indianapolis and Chicago, and it was as normal of an event as anything prior to 2020 in both of those places. So it's really exciting to have that back.
Yeah,
I think I can speak for just about every college basketball fan, person involved in the sport. We all miss that.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is the big celebration this weekend in New Orleans.
Yeah, I was at the Mountain West, the Pac-12, and the WAC, and while I'm not ready to say back to normal, the term I've been using is back to familiarity, right? It's familiar, and we're on our way back. Enjoy it. I know you will. Grub down now at the gumbo shop because that's good eating.
Oh, yeah. That's early on the list.
And let's do this again next week. We'll find you somewhere next Thursday, and we'll wrap these things up. But appreciate the time as always. We're reading you every day over on CBSSports.com. You can follow them on the Twitter. It's at JPPalmCBS. Safe travels. Enjoy your time, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, Jerry.
All right, thanks.
All right, be well. Jerry Palm. Yeah, he turned me on to that place. I'm like, all right.
Sounds great.
It wasn't one of those fancy. It was just good old
Love New Orleans.
The gumbo shop.
I'm gonna look for it. We're going their honeymoon.
Well, and then we were with a friend who went to Tulane, so she's like, all right, I know a bunch of dive bars. We went and played pools and listened to music, and it was just I'm glad they're restarting there because it's the right spot. All right, you can respond to what Jerry said. We'll reset for you as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A-Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM. An AM 630 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore.
On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
All right, thanks to Jerry. Asked Jerry if Purdue is upset with Matt Painter. I just didn't want to peel the scabs off of that, did you? Jerry's a big Purdue fan. They got beat by St. Peter's. I mean, Kentucky fan, I don't think it's over it yet.
No.
And you could hear, well, they got what they deserved. I mean, it was just, look, man, when your school loses a game like that, when you're almost, ask a little fan about Harvard. How many years outside of Harvard are we? How does that feel?
Doesn't feel good.
If I say Laurent Rivard.
Nightmares.
Right?
Nightmares.
How many years later are we? It is what it is. All right, 505-246-0610. Thank you to Jerry. The text line.
I was in Indy when Kentucky lost.
To St. Peter's?
Yeah.
Was it in Indianapolis when that happened?
Yes. It was a quiet. It was. They were mad.
Yeah, that can't happen.
No.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
But it did. But anytime 15 beats a 2, I mean, it's going to be a really, really good program. I was asking you to give me a team with bad players at 1. So the text line says bad players 1 with, especially quarterback-wise, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, Mr. Flacco, and at the end, Manning. Many think even Bradshaw wasn't in any way the best. Were those bad teams? Every one of those defenses you just on those teams were like some of the all-time best, weren't they? The steel curtain when Bradshaw was there. That defense when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Broncos was really good. The Ravens' defenses were terrific, right? Was John Harbaugh the coach of the Ravens when they won with Flacco and with Dilfer?
No, that was
20
years.
Yeah, Dilfer won in Tampa.
That was Brian Billick.
Yeah, it was Brian Billick. And Brad Johnson. All right. Were those bad teams?
They weren't.
And by the way, are those guys bad players?
quarterbacks.
Yeah, are they bad players? Was Trent Dilfer or was Joe Flacco bad players? If they're not all-time greats, does that mean they were bad?
They're dudes that you wouldn't expect to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, on their own. But then go look at those teams that they were on. Look at some of those defenses. Look at the steel curtain. Look at those. Look at the Ravens defenses. Look at that Bronco defense. I don't know. Was Manning bad when he was? He wasn't great at that point, but I mean, was he was? So you're on bad. Okay. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Tellis says, time for an all-new edition of Ask A. Marie. Dude, they're hitting you every day. Okay, this isn't, but this one's not fair. Tellis, I
Okay.
mean, I'll ask her, and she won't.
This is the thing, too.
What?
I try to just not take this so seriously. But this is what I do professionally, and I just think it's been ongoing the whole time I've entered sports media.
Well,
so I don't know their intention behind it, and that is what I'm curious.
So if they want to ask you sports stuff, but this is show trivia. This one goes.
Oh, I'm not going to get
right,
it.
This
I'm
one
not.
isn't fair. She wasn't in the market. She wouldn't hear. He says, "Ask A. Marie who was not my Mondo, not your Mondo, Armando." Yeah, how would she know?
Also, I'm going to let you know, I just watch sports. Like, Kyle makes fun of me all the time. I don't watch TV that much.
You don't watch The Bachelor?
No. I watch the last episode every season to make fun of it.
Okay, I heard this year was unbelievable.
I haven't watched it.
So he was in love with all 3 of them, and
They
then,
always are.
And then he
It always
told
comes down to
the
3.
2 that I'm not digging you, and he went to Susie, and Susie says, "Well, wait, you slept with
And
both
they have
of them,"
overnights.
and she bailed, but then she came back at the sit down months later, and they're together, and what?
They're
Now
in
she's
love.
What the hell?
It's the same thing every time. He or she gets down to 3. They have overnights and really nice suites, and then he picks to marry him.
Well, what's supposed to happen in there?
That's what I'm saying. And everyone gets mad that he slept with all of them or whatever.
Armando was a Hall of Fame caller
Oh.
from El Paso.
Oh, yeah, then I definitely would have known that.
Yeah, by the way.
He's...
That's not fair, Tellis. I'm not. Don't ding her for that. Don't ding her for any of them.
Oh, I watch Winning Time. Adrian just texted me. I do watch Winning Time about the Lakers on HBO
That's
Max.
actually really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm enjoying it.
It's the opening drive, another hour for you. I'm going to reset.
Quiz me.
And I got a bunch of your correspondence on the opening drive. Thanks for being with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car crafters, it's like it never happened.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com.
This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cindietta, and J.J. Bach.
All right, you guys are all over the Brady stuff. Buccaneers, Arians goes to the front office. Todd Bowles takes over as the head coach. Jalen House, the Lobo point guard, he's going to test the NBA water, see where he stands in regards to draft status, leaving the door open to return to the Lobos. We haven't got into Costa Rica beating the United States. Has a 2-0 loss ever been so celebrated
it
before?
It doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter.
As long as it wasn't 6-0.
United States qualified for the World Cup. After their 2-0 loss to Costa Rica yesterday, they are into the World Cup for the first time since 2014. It's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal because guess what?
What?
Italy ain't there.
Italy ain't there.
Back-to-back World Cups they missed.
Ooh.
And what?
No, seriously, and what? How's that going over in Italy? Are you allowed to have a World Cup without Italy?
Yes, because you're doing it twice in a row.
Are the Russians in?
Italy, all they care about is Ferrari is dominating F1.
Well, they do have that. And they do have that. Is Russia in the World Cup?
No.
Were they banned from qualifying and all that stuff?
Yes.
All right. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. 888-922-0610. Ralph says there's victory at sea. There's surf this morning, by the way. He says Dilfer was the worst NFL quarterback to win a Super Bowl, plus he went to Fresno State. Career stats, 129 interceptions, 113 touchdowns. So does the worst to win mean you're bad? I asked who's won with bad players. Does the worst to win mean you're bad?
You can win without a star quarterback because you have a really good team, but those are few and far between.
Those weren't bad teams. And if you want to even try to convince me that it was a bad quarterback, I'm not sure I'm there, but okay, I would tell you it's a marginal quarterback, but the teams around him were really, really good. So I don't know that those coaches won with bad teams. They may have won with, I mean, somebody's got to be, like, if you're going to have a list, somebody's going to be one, somebody's going to be last, right?
Yeah.
No matter, it's like, you think Trent Dilfer gives a damn as he shines his Super Bowl ring that you think he's the worst quarterback to win a Super Bowl? You think he cares?
No.
I don't think he does. You know why? Because he's got a Super Bowl ring, and you don't. You don't. United draw yesterday out at the ball pitch, 2-2. It was a stoppage time goal by Oakland Roots to equalize that match. United get 1 point as opposed to 3. They snatched 1 point out of the jaws of 3. So of the 6 points that were available over the last couple of games, they got 2 at home. JJ, you feel that's going to be something that comes back and haunts them later in the season?
Yeah.
Or can be.
4 points sitting there on the table. Look back, fighting for playoff positioning. It's not a guarantee this team's going to get to the playoffs.
They didn't make it last year. They do have a 17-match home unbeaten streak, which is impressive. And I know I hear you stop typing. Go ahead and type. So what do they need a new pitch for? They got a great one. They can't get beat in their current pitch. Field, place, stadium, palace. Why do they need a new one? Well, their next one's going to be, so if they get beat in the Open Cup next week across the street at the UNM Soccer Complex, A, would that put an end to their streak? And if they don't get beat, would that add to their streak? Or is it because that's Open Cup play and not league play? Does that matter?
Questions I don't have answers to.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. All right, I got emails on Jalen House and Lobos and all this. Lobo Hobo says, Lobo fans still have nightmares about Jacques Cousteau. That's Laurent Rivard. I just looked him up. He's very successful, by the way. The Harvard shooting guard. I looked at the box score of that game. I'm not going to, well, I did. He was pretty good that day. Time, I already did that one. All right, Sid, April 4th. 1983. Did I kind of send out the bat signal for Sid today? Earlier?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Symbieta, have I ever told you my 1983 Final Four story? Maybe, Sid. I'm going to guess maybe. Saturday afternoon, the semis. Yes, in those days, the games were played in the afternoon. It was beautiful and 70 degrees. Had some buddies in northwest New Mexico Monday morning. I plan to take care of that and then drive back to watch the finals, NC State versus Houston, 7 p.m. When I left Albuquerque Sunday afternoon, it was still nice, but that quickly changed as I pulled away from the metro. By Sunday night, when I arrived in northwest New Mexico, it was dumping snow, which it did all night. After that freak spring storm was over Monday morning, there was at least 6 feet on the ground. The meeting I had gone up for was canceled. Schools were closed and the roads were shut down. I didn't know if I was going to make it back on an icy, narrow Highway 44. Fortunately, about noon, the friendly April sun finally emerged and quickly started melting the white stuff. I pulled into the University Arena parking lot just before post time. That's how close I came to missing the greatest NCAA game in history. Sid. Make a good movie. 30 for 30. How Sid was there when Jim Valvano was looking for someone to hug. It should have been Sid who went out there and hugged him. See? Could have worked. Got a weather theme. I got a surf report for you. I got Sid from April 4th of 1983. Hondo says coldest February and March ever, Jeff. The heck's going on? Normally on March 31st, I'm making plans to crank up the AC, and this time of year when it rains, it's at least a San Diego like 65. Yesterday I went out at lunch. It was like December all over again. I had the heater on full blast. I could have been going to your game. See what you did there, Hondo. Look, I don't know what to tell you. Call Joe Diaz? What do you want me to say? You met Joe Diaz the other day. The great Joe Diaz. All right, Dan said, yeah, he's wonderful. Lobo disconnected. Jeffrey Juan Jose y Ana Maria. On one hand, Lobo fans tell me they can't wait to see all 3 guards in the lineup with House, Burn, see what he did, Mashburn, and Dent. Then on the other hand, they tell me they need bigs. So you go with 3 undersized guards and 2 bigs. At that point, you're asking those bigs to defend and rebound because they aren't going to be a lot of touches on offense. And what happens to those guys that fall in the middle like Johnson and J. Allen Tovar? Everybody's got a role, man. If you go 3 guards with Dent, Mashburn, and House, you find 2 bigs. And what if you start Tovar at 3 or at the 4?
Going to play.
Yeah.
He's not going to be the odd man out.
What if you start him at the 4? What if he comes off the bench? Look, you find yourself a good, solid, rim protecting big who can score on the block, and you go with those 3 guards and Jalen Tovar, and you're bringing KJ Jenkins and maybe Javante off the bench and whatever else you're finding in the transfer portal and bring it in. I think you're going to be just fine, don't you?
Yes.
With the progression, theoretically, of Sebastian Forsling, does Barima Sek become a piece of this puzzle? I mean, does he develop?
And guess what? If you don't get in the rotation, you can leave. Like, you can't care about feelings. This is still a game of business decision for everyone involved. Do you want to play? We'll get better, get in the rotation. If you're not in the rotation and you don't like it, the transfer portal is there for you.
It's kind of on you at that point. Look, Richard's made this very clear. He's going to find whoever he can to win a game. I think Richard Pitino can coach. I do. I think he can adapt styles. I think he proved that this year. They had no right beating Wyoming. They had no right beating that UNLV team that they beat at the end of the year. I remember asking you, 4 games left? You think they'll win another game? And you reluctantly, and I agreed with you, said no. Then they beat a good UNLV team, ran them out of the building for the first 30 minutes. They were competitive in Vegas with Nevada, who was, by the way, better than them. Much more complete team. So I guess the emailer, what do you want to see? You have a problem with those three guards? If Dent's nearly as good as they tell you he is, you have a problem with Mashburn, House, and Dent to go with if he finds a rim-protecting big who can play on the block, who has got some offensive skills, and J. Allen Tovar? And Javonte Johnson and KJ Jenkins coming off the bench and Forsling? And whatever else he finds in the portal? You have
I think
where's your issue?
there hasn't been success, so there's always it's not going to work. But when it works, someone's going to be unhappy. Well, you're just probably going to go from playing 30 minutes a game, maybe 25, 26. And then in close games or in things you need your guys to go, your rotation's going to tighten up. Like, why do people try to overcomplicate this?
And by the way, as a fan, why do you care if someone's unhappy? Because if someone's unhappy, that means your team's probably winning, right? Like, one of these guys isn't getting playing time, that means somebody else better came in, and that probably means you got better, right? Isn't that what that means? Is that what you care about?
And you're going to have ups and downs with a freshman guard. So you're going to be relying on House and Mashburn and KJ Jenkins a lot, working in that rotation. Depending on the front court, you can have different ways that, Javonte Johnson can get involved. Like, these are the things you want to see happen. But for some reason, there's just always this, like, well, I got to put up this protective fence because it ain't going to work. Someone's going to be unhappy.
I mean, I don't know. You want to win games, right?
Yeah.
That's how this is going to go, man. And
you start winning, we're not going to worry about the rotation. But until this program is successful on a consistent basis, these are going to be the constant conversations you have to try to figure out, as a Lobo fan, what it's going to take for your team to be successful.
And by the way, if you've not gotten used to big roster turnover every year in college basketball, you need to, or find another sport. It's just the way it is. Every team's going to go through major roster overhaul. And I say every team, maybe not St. Peter's, but every team in your league does. Every team in your league is doing. Have you watched the Twitter and the transfer portal? I saw you on the transfer portal site the other day.
Absolutely.
Nevada's dealing with it.
And by the way, they will. Because guess what? Those St. Peter's kids are going to the power program that will take them.
That's right.
There's Murray State just lost 2 players.
Yep.
One of the dudes transferred to LSU.
Yep. That's how this is going to play, boys.
It's all a part of the process. But until this process gets to a level of UNM basketball winning, then people are going to question everything and just assume the worst with the rotation and how you're supposed to play through. It's basketball, man.
Look, it's been a tough decade. I got it. I mean, the last 4 years of Craig, you had what, 4, 7, 8 years? I mean, it's been a minute since you've been.
You have good pieces. Like J. Allen Tovar is going to be playing a lot of basketball next season, as will your backcourt. Devontae Johnson's role might change a little bit, but I think that's probably going to make him an even better player.
Forsling's going to get better.
What you saw this season, the evolution of Forsling, maybe even if he plays less next year, that could mean you're maximizing him. If you get a starting front court 5 that's Division I ready, that's played Division I basketball, like those are all positives for the program moving forward.
505-246-0610. I'll keep reading your emails as you send them in, Jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. We'll continue this conversation. I want to get more into the NFL stuff as well. And the Jalen House talk and Lobo talk. Look, you go speculate all you want, and we can have these conversations. But the reality is what the reality is, and you're going to be okay with it. Hey, sometimes you can do everything right. Everything. Still need a little help. Guys, you can eat right, you can work out, you can watch your weight, and still deal with some of those things that Mother Nature throws at you. And that's where NuMale comes in. Gentlemen, if you are dealing with some of these very natural things like being tired too often, hair loss, weight gain, even erectile dysfunction, call NuMale. NuMale helps men all over the country beat these things with industry-leading testosterone replacement. Call them at 505-652-1688 or visit NuMale, that's NuMale.com. The reality is, as you age, there's a really good chance you're going to be affected by natural things like this. There's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, really the only thing to be ashamed of is not doing anything about it. Do something. Make a call that can make a huge difference for you. NuMale's number is 505-652-1688. They're convenient. They're here in Albuquerque. They're with you through the whole process, and it works. Guys, the results are real. Call New Mail at 505-652-1688 or visit newmail.com and feel better.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
All right, Final Four goes back at New Orleans on Saturday. We'll hear it on the opening drive. Well, on the opening drive, on the Sports Animal. This is the opening drive. We are on the Sports Animal. Is that still how that goes? How many screens of soccer did you have on last night? At one point,
soccer?
Did you have United and USA on, or did
one.
you watch which one? Which one did you watch? USA or United?
United.
You did?
Yeah.
So you didn't go to the match at the pitch last night?
No.
All right. Equalizer in stoppage time to swing the result to even, and they slided in the table. Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
All right.
Can I ask you a question, Jeff?
You can ask me anything you want.
What is, I guess, the worry or the questions, like when you get the email talking about playing time?
Yes, for level
Like, what's-
basketball. Yeah.
I guess what's the point behind it?
To
That someone's
agitate.
going to get upset? Or, because who won the Mountain West Conference this past season?
I believe Boise State did.
So, do you think they did it because they were deep?
No, they went about 7, right?
They went 6 players.
6 players. Okay. So it
So
was
it's like
not
if
deep.
you got your crew, you're going to ride it. Whether it's 5 players, 6 players, maybe a 7th guy gets in a rotation, like all these rotations are tight.
What's the ideal scenario?
Watch Duke, North Carolina.
Mhm.
Both coaches, best case scenario, their starting 5 plays 40 minutes. All those players.
What's best scenario? So I'm
So it's just like it's
7, 8 guys.
It's just get the best you got, roll them out there. There's not a perfect formula to it. You just need the talent.
So you're telling me it comes down to talent. It's funny that you're telling me that. All right, Carolina, when they beat, well, this isn't a fair one because that was a blowout. Let me find a regular Duke on Saturday. Duke was in a game, right, against Arkansas, 73-69. Duke total. Oh, your point's not wrong. How many guys do you think Duke played?
You got Keels off the bench, the freshman that swap places with the Roach,
Yeah.
Banchero,
And that's it, dude.
Williams.
No, that's it.
Moore,
Yeah,
Griffin.
yeah, Keels played 25 minutes, and one dude played 5 minutes off the bench, and that's it. They played 7. Arkansas had one dude play 28 minutes off the bench. One guy played 8, and one guy played 1. That's 6 guys, man. You're not wrong.
So it's not necessarily like there's going to be an odd man out or anything along those lines. Just get your best, roll with your best.
Villanova, in their win over Houston, had their starting 5. Everybody played at least 25 minutes. Yeah, Daniels coming off the bench played 35, and that's it. One guy played 2 minutes. They're playing 6 guys.
And so I guess that could be the question of, bringing up a topical. If Dent comes in and he's the great guy who's the odd man out, it's probably KJ Jenkins, and he'll shoot threes, playing 12 minutes a game.
Well,
like that happens.
The way you phrase the question is really good. For those of you who are worried about who's the odd man out, what is your worry? Because I tell you, if someone's the odd man out, that means that you're winning. And isn't that what you care about? So does it bother you if player X can't earn playing time on this team and he transfers to Creighton or Temple or Seton Hall or Texas San Antonio or wherever and has a good career? Or Duke, for that matter. When you ask all the time, where's the playing time coming from? Who's the odd man out? What's going to happen? Doesn't that mean then you got better? Somebody else better came in? Isn't that kind of what you want every time you walk into that building? JJ, the way you phrase it is fair. So for all of you who are firing these emails, what's your concern? What are you worried about? That you're going to be too good? That some guy's not going to be able to play? Well, that hadn't happened in a while. Go back to your Laurent Rivard teams when you were a 3 seed. There were dudes who didn't play. Cam Bairstow didn't play a lot when he was an underclassman. Daniel Ferris didn't play as an underclassman. Now, I get it. It's a different game today, especially with the transfer portal and everything else. What are you worried about? You worried about hurting somebody's feelings? Is that what this is about? Because do you really care? I don't think you do. Well, but he works so hard. Okay, wasn't good enough. It's kind of how it goes, right? Isn't that what you're telling me? Look, JJ's point is dead on. Most successful programs, especially by the time you hit February and March, have a very, very tight rotation. Jeremiah Francis didn't get playing time. He left. How you feel about that? Are you brokenhearted? Jeremiah Francis was a pretty good guy. I liked him. A few times I got to spend with him. Came from North Carolina. You thought, oh, my goodness, he's transferred from North Carolina. He's going to be great. He's going to take us to the Final Four. Couldn't get off the bench.
If the players are good, it will work itself out. There's nothing to worry about. You want the talent. You want those dudes fighting for positions.
Yeah.
And the talented players on the floor will make plays.
Right? JJ's question is so totally fair. So what are you worried about? Well, I mean, we're bringing in too many guards. Pitino's going to find you some bigs. Like of all of the things I'm worried about, I guess that's not one of them. I know he's going to go out and find some bigs. How do I know that? I just, because he knows what he needs. Because he knows he needs to win, because, that's his job. And I think he does his job fairly well, and it may end up being really well. But I think, judging what he did last year, watching him run this program, a program that had won 6 games the year prior, that had no bigs available to him that had ever played before, that he was playing a guy that, enforcing, that probably should have redshirted. And win some of the games they went down the stretch and be close in some of the other games they were close in down the stretch. My eyes told me, in the time I spent around that program, that he's doing a pretty good job. And he knows to do his job to where he needs to do it, the level at which he needs to do. He needs to find some bigs. Are you worried about Pitino finding bigs in the offseason?
No. There's too many dudes in the transfer portal not to land.
Why are they coming here, though? They're not coming to this dump.
Starting caliber forward.
Yeah. Not worried about it. And I've done this for a lot of years now. And now, by the way, you have too.
Yep.
You can now say I've done this for a lot of years.
A little while. Wow.
And every year I hear the same thing. Where's all the playing time coming from, Jeff? Oh, there's only one ball, JJ. Oh, and someone gets left out. And you know what? It's how it is, man. And it's not only in this program. It's at Boise State, and it's at San Diego State, and it's at North Carolina State, and it's at Duke, and it's at Kansas. Where do you think these guys transfer from Kansas? Why do you think? Because they've been getting all the playing time there? Why do you think you got a guy that transferred from Kansas, from Arizona State, from TCU, from Minnesota? Because they were getting all that playing time there? They find a place that fits them better, and they go and they find playing time. I'll ask you again. What are you worried about? Now, you can be worried about the quality, the caliber of these guys. Are they good enough to compete and win? I think you believe your guards are, right? Is there any one of us who think that if Mashburn and House and you throw Dent into this backcourt, supposedly as good as he's going to be, and by the way, he'll be a freshman next year. So he's not beating these two guys out the beginning of the season to start. His minutes, he might even come off the bench, for crying out loud. Right? Or maybe he'll be a star from the beginning. But he's going to be a freshman straight out of high school. All right, will you give him a minute, please, before you put him in the Hall of Fame? But are you convinced? I am, that House and Mashburn can play in this league.
Like, you can't count on Dit until he runs down that ramp.
Please?
Because all of a sudden, like, this dude, like, has there ever been a fax to sign paper?
I think so.
Into the University of Mexico? Okay, okay.
I think so.
That's important.
Yeah, I think so. On that one, yes. Yeah. But I'm convinced that if Mashburn and House can play in this league, that you're good, that your guards are going to be pretty damn good in regards to anybody in this league. I think Jalen Tovar gets better. I think Forsling gets better, and I think this coach goes
guard rotation set. And then if you are able to land a starting front court player, that slides everyone into a better position. Because you can still play small ball with Jalen Tovar at the 5, Johnson at the 4 if you want to speed it up or match up a little bit. But Johnson can go to the 3, maybe match up against some of the bigger guards a little bit more, maybe change your perimeter defense at times. So I'm not worried about the guard rotation. I think the biggest thing is how it slides the depth to different areas.
505-246-0610. What are you worried about? I'm listening. JJ, he asked a question. It's a fair question. What are you worried about? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Finally.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at 10, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
I also got Edward clarifying what he said to us. He told you and I both missed the point.
We missed the point a lot.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed.
So he'll get us back on the point. 505-246-0610.
We're 3 jerks who missed the point.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Well, I'll tell you the point when I read his point counterpoint.
Point was Tom Brady can do nothing
That's right.
wrong.
And it was all Bruce Arians robbed him of
What
another.
did I miss?
Yeah. You want me to read it now or take Rudy's call?
Well, it's got to read it now.
Oh man!
No, let me stay on top.
On our toes.
Yeah, I'll get that. But since we've been on the Lobos, and let's stay somewhat there, and then I'll get you the point to the counterpoint of the point to the point that the point is the point. Hello, Rudolph.
Hello. Well, I don't know if these people that are so freaked out are actual Lobo fans or what, because I talk to Lobo fans, and this has been going on for years, and it started with the Henry T show where people were allowed to just beat on the Lobos, and fans that defended them were ridiculed. And basically, a lot of the Lobo fans I know don't even care to call into sports talk anymore because they don't want to be attacked. And I just think that we got 2 things going for us. Number 1, we've got a coach that's committed to being here and is coaching at a high level. And if you don't believe me, just watch some of the games and see what we did. We competed when we had no shot at really competing. And I think that says a lot about the coaching and what you can get out of the players. The second thing we have is guards. And anybody who's been watching, guards are what make your team, especially if you're going to try to get into the tournament. You have to have good guards. So there are big men out there. We had a couple of them. Manuel and Muscadin just didn't work out, and that has a lot to do with COVID, this, that, and the other. But, when you start going off on tangents and curses and this, that, and the other, Richard isn't interested in any of that. The guy knows what he's doing. He coached at pretty high level in the Big Ten. So I'm pretty satisfied with the progress that's being made, given all the circumstances and what he inherited. He didn't inherit a guy like Giddens on the roster, did he?
Not that I saw, no. No,
Yeah.
Mashburn's good, but I don't think he's Giddens.
No, Giddens was one of those kind of,
And by the way, yeah,
Danny Granger.
Yeah, well, it was a first-round NBA pick. I mean, I don't know what much more you have to say. And if you recall, I mean, when Steve got here, Giddens was on the outside and on his last straw, and they went on that that trip to the island. Where was it? The Caribbean, whatever islands they went to, Canary Islands, I think it was that year, and they left him home. Steve made a point. He left him home and didn't take him on that trip. No, didn't send him.
Yep.
He left him home.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that, I think the program's in good hands. Every time I've talked to Richard Pitino, I've gotten a really good indication of how committed he is to this place. And that's the other thing. You have a guy that's committed, that's locked in, that has connections. It worked out for a lot of other coaches here that had good success. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride.
So you're not worried. That's good. Yeah, I mean,
Nope,
what are you
not
worried
worried at all.
All right, man. Good to hear you. See you.
Yeah, you too.
All right, I think I'm going to tell you, I think that's where most Lobo fan is. I think they're secure with it. This year was, look, I think most Lobo fan understands the hand that they were dealt in regards to the bigs because of defection and injury. They didn't have any. I think most Lobo fan feels, even today, that Jalen House is going to be back and that Mashburn's terrific. Richard can coach. You got some pieces. And I think most Lobo fans trust that he can go out and recruit bigs. Let me bring you back to last offseason. Richard signed right about now, right? It was like early April, wasn't it? It was after the Final Four, correct? So he wasn't the coach yet, okay? He put together a roster. In the portal, he found Jamal Mashburn. Now, you can tell me he came with him. Okay, I'll give you that one. Jalen House, Jethro Muscadin, Taryn Todd, J. Allen Tovar, KJ Jenkins. Did I forget somebody? I'm sure I did. Right? Those guys were all transfers, whether it's junior college transfers or major college transfers. Jeff, how good were they? They were ninth place in the Mountain West. You're right. But would you tell me House and Mashburn and Jenkins and Tovar can play a little? Will you tell me Muscadin can play a little bit? I know it didn't work out, but I sat there and watched him. He was going to be pretty good. So that gives me the faith that says, all right, I think he can recruit. And I don't think it's just his name. I think it's his reputation and what he's got. So I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt after 1 year that he's going to go fill the needs of this roster. And if you're going to tell me that House and Mashburn are going to be back, and Dent's going to be back, and Jenkins is going to be back, and Tovar and Forsling are going to be back, I think you've got the base of something that can be competitive. Now, you decide when you need to be competitive for a championship. You put that on him. If it does he have to start winning a championship in year two? That's on you, and we can have that conversation. But do you think that's fair, where I'm assessing that program?
It is absolutely fair for having the lack of a difference maker in the front court and to be competitive more times than not last season. You have to be all in on the backcourt. And I guess maybe that's some of the worry of if it pushes one of those guys out.
Well, then it does.
But it does, but it's not going to push Mashburn or House anywhere. Or maybe someone like KJ Jenkins' minutes go down, but you probably will be better on the perimeter by bringing in someone with the size of Donovan Dent, getting a forward in there, slide Jalen Tovar and Devontae Johnson into different positions.
Where they belong, by the way. Yeah,
team.
yeah, where they're naturally suited to play.
Because the one thing that does stand out is the size. And the Lobos are not going to survive by playing Jenkins, House, and Mashburn all at the same time, which becomes a rotation. I mean, those three. Like, House and Mashburn can close out a game beyond.
Yeah. And Jenkins can be
Jenkins,
there, too.
Like, his role, while it might change, he could be really good in said role as being a shooter, a spark off the bench. Devontae Johnson, I think when he slides to being able to guard perimeter players, you're going to see his game even go to another level defensively because he had to battle all season long. They're like, here, Javon, here's a dude that's got a few inches and like 20 pounds on you. Have fun. And so the grind that he went through defensively, you could see the second half of the season took away from his offensive game.
All right, let me read you. I'm going to change subjects on you. This is going back to the Bruce Arians, Tom Brady Buccaneers thing. And Edward had a call earlier. He says, you and JJ missed the entire point. We are jerks. No.
What about me?
Yeah, you evidently didn't miss it. You got it. So you should explain it to me. They lacked discipline all year, the Buccaneers. All year. I only illustrated the Rams game as an example because there were repeated colossal breakdowns on both offense and defense. And that, my award-winning friends, is a lack of culture. And it cost them a great chance to win back-to-back Super Bowls, and that was my point, not cherry-picking moments, LOL. So he's saying the culture would... So they won, and he did say this, they won the Super Bowl in spite of Arians. So the culture wasn't good the first year.
Yeah, and so I think that's interesting. Was it that everyone was just, quote, full of themselves? Because that was something that it seems like in year one, we were talking about as, this is freeing for Tom Brady. It's not this tyrannical robot at the head coach position, but ultimately that is what Tom Brady is at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I want to make sure you understood it because we missed the point. Okay. I got more on Lobo basketball when we get back. 505-246-0610. You can get in. I asked you what are you worried about? Point counterpoint in an old Saturday Night Lights skit. Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin. Yeah, Jane, you ignorant? Yes, no. That's what I thought of when I said it. It's exactly what I said. The text line says Tony Snell was testing the waters too. Then he was gone. That's also true. Do you think
it wasn't the same back then?
I think it's different as well.
It wasn't the same back then. And there's a difference between being ready now in a ceiling, and that's hard for like just basketball fans. And I'm calling all you out, basketball fans. That is hard for you to see. There's a difference between being a good Lobo and competing in the Mountain West versus what your ceiling could be in the NBA. Like, not everyone that's drafted is immediately like, this is a finished product. And so that's what this process is about.
And $53 million later?
Like, 99% of people said Tony Snell wasn't ready.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about what they view the player to be. Why do you think freshmen, one-and-done players are selected at the top? Because they're really talented and they're going to get better. Not because, they played 4 years in college basketball. They're ready right now. And what gets people frustrated is the announcement because they're not used to it.
Right.
They just see.
And I don't think they were expecting it.
They just see NBA testing in their mind. That's leaving. I think these players just do it. Stop announcing to the world that you're testing. Yeah, but you don't. But you put up these posts and it's like a farewell post in a lot of people's minds. Like Jabari Rice, he's like, "Thank you, New Mexico State, for everything. I absolutely love you guys. I'm testing the waters and keeping the door open." And when you lay it out like that, I understand why people feel that a player is leaving.
Yeah. 505-246-0610. Got more of your opinions. I want to hear more. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the sports animal.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. Clark's Pets,
the sports animal.
All right, bringing you home on a beautiful springtime. What day is today? Thursday?
Thursday.
That means I get Golf Valero Open in the office today, huh? I don't have to watch war coverage today. Get a little golf. Is Tiger going to play today? Jeff, JJ, A. Marie. You going to play today? Get those new clubs. Have you used those new clubs yet?
Yes, I've used them 3 times.
How do they hit?
I mean, they're good.
It's not the wand, it's the magician, just so you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
right.
like, I played UNM North for the first time. I really enjoyed it.
All right. It's a fun little course.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. All right, Terry, how you living? Welcome to your segment.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yes, it's not Friday, so I'll limit introductions to just hope you all are doing well.
It's a Friday thing, huh?
Yeah.
Every day's a Friday.
You know, Fridays, always want you guys to have a great
ends with a
weekend.
Y.
Why? Yeah, Dave said that. Now, last night with Arian, I thought, when I first heard it, I thought maybe he finally listened to his doctor and health issues, because didn't he wear that contraption on the sidelines, and I thought, okay, maybe he's finally knowing it's time to step away. I don't know from the standpoint of, picking on one. I think it is easier with Brady there because, everybody got on Sean Payton for leaving and how dare he leave at that time. So, but I do think Brady, it's not necessarily he's mad at Arians. I think maybe he's mad at all of them because he still wants to be the 49ers quarterback and put up with it from that standpoint. So
where's all this coming from? I hear it coming from everywhere but Brady, that he wants to be the 49ers quarterback. Last I looked at the 49ers roster, they got 2 quarterbacks on there, one that's taken them to 2 Super Bowls and another that they spent 3 first-round picks in the world to go get as their new quarterback. And everybody but Brady's telling me that he wants to be in San Francisco. So, is this, where there's smoke, there's fire, or is this just some concocted thing that Niner fan wants to hear?
Well, I'm not a Niners fan, but I'll admit I concoct certain things up and speculation. I just foresee it when they talked about a couple of years ago about the team that he finally brought out and said they didn't want me, they wanted him over me, and some thought it was Tennessee, and a lot more thought it was San Francisco. And so from that end, it's just me and my mindset. Now, from that moving on, Edward, the year they won the Super Bowl, they were 5th seed. Last year, they were the 2 seed. But so this last year, the Bucs weren't disciplined. But they moved up in seeding. And, yes, they signed too many guys. They had a lot of D-back injuries. Who do you put Antonio Brown's nonsense on? I think Tommy Boy has to accept that. I'm a Brady fan, but he's the one who wanted him more than anybody. So here he is dancing around now saying it's Arians' fault that Brown's undisciplined. I don't think Arians wanted him in the first place. And, so for my last little statement, when I sent it in about Matt Painter to ask Jerry Palm, it wasn't like total slam, but it is hard because KU's done it before where they've been the, higher seed, and how dare they lose to a team like that.
Yep.
And wondering if, Purdue is, fine with Painter. I think he's a solid coach, but sometimes you go, how could we lose to that?
Man, look, Calipari was under heat by Kentucky fans after they lost to St. Peter's. People were losing their mind. Is Cal the guy? He's got to go. Are you out of your mind?
Right. And last little bit, second last little bit, is for the Lobos, you got to find somebody who's willing to be the 6th man. My dog's trying to tell me they want to get their take. From that end, is if one of the guards is willing to come off the bench, still play a lot of minutes, it makes the chemistry a lot better where you can have a flow, and you still, like the poor kid that got hurt for Villanova, you don't start, but you play 35 minutes. You're pretty important. So
no doubt.
If they can find that rotation, it should, hopefully work out. But, yes, people will always want them to get bigger, better, faster. Right. So you guys have a great day.
All right, see
Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, help me with this, and I'm going to lean on both of you. I hear it all the time, and it's said now as fact that Tommy, because he's from the Bay Area, wants to play with the 49ers. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that I don't, but, where's it coming from?
If Tom wanted to play for the 49ers,
he probably would
be playing for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's what I thought. Josh Way. Hello, Hoser.
Hey, the year's still young, so he still may end up down there somehow. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see.
So.
But I also will not do all the introductions today. I'll save that for a
because you only got
day.
like a minute.
We only got like 2 minutes.
What?
Take time.
No, that's it. I need more time. I need a segment.
Well.
No. Good day, sir.
Okay. Anyways, continue on. Terry, I hope you got a laugh out of that yesterday because I just appreciate these callers. That's what makes them unique. And if I was around, boy, I would have definitely taken them up on that sandwich because, boy, you remember, guys, every time food came in.
Yeah, you were first in line. You didn't miss
through the radio show, I was there to get my plate. Hey, on the Jalen thing, yes, I understand JJ's perspective and, not to freak out, testing the waters, but there's still that chance where, like, you just never know what the key thing is that he might hear that might send them that way. And for us, I think as college fans, we like the college game so much that it's like, don't leave just yet. You kind of wish it was kind of like the NFL where players had to play so many years of college ball before they can make the leap. Now, I know the games are different, and, you know, basketball's already kind of opened that door, that box to that. So they're always going to, you know, try to go that way. But to me, I think the college game right now is just more exciting. I get the sense that nationwide, maybe the focus on college basketball is a little bit more than the NBA. So I would like for them to, you know, to stick around maybe 2 to 3 years before they start doing that sort of thing. But it does. I think it just creates that sense of, you know, yes, he can come back, but man, if something is said or something happens, and you know that key event. And then all of a sudden he's gone, and I think that's when you see
that event could happen regardless.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're saying thank you because, hey, I'm going here to check this out, and if I hear the right thing, I'm out. You know, so I think that's why they say thank you because they're leaning towards possibly just leaving.
Right. I might have found another shirt for you, by the way.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
I like shirts.
I was going through the closet. All right. Be well. I'll call you next time there's food.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Later. All right.
Not
So
that
I
often.
get it. I get. Look, there's a chance, but there's always
We're
a
scared
chance
of the
whether they
breakup.
announce it or not.
They're scared of they're being left.
I get it. All right.
But there's nothing wrong with any athlete, whether you're going to be a lottery pick or someone that probably isn't going to get drafted. Use the resources that are available to you. It's just these posts, to Hoser's point, freak people out. They're like, oh, you're
It's how they
leaving
market
us?
themselves, though, too.
Yeah, and there's that element to it as well. Just say, hey, I'm testing the NBA draft waters. Cool story. But when they write it out and they say these like thank yous and it's been awesome, like that's where you're like, uh-oh.
Maybe say the thank yous if they're leaving.
Yeah, I don't think Jalen sent one of those, did he? I don't think it was a deuces. Peace out. I'm taking my talents to
South
Miami,
Beach.
to South Beach. We're gonna go not one, not two. Wow, this is the longest minute and a half I've ever went through in my life. Like, okay. Thank you to Jerry Palm, CBSSports.com, for being with us. He's going to the gumbo shop in New Orleans, by the way.
Awesome.
It's good grubbing.
He's not going for anyone, by the way, he told me.
Is that what he said? All right. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. We're back with more award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Friday.
Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Adrian, great work. A-Marie, great work. Dude, you're a stud.
Thank you.
Big day today?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will be with you tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow. We will ho. See you.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Waiting the next pitch. That's a good swing. Nope. Nice dig by the shortstop. Gets it across, and that's an out, number 1.
To that meeting, what pitch do we get? It's a good pitch and a swing and a miss for strike number 3. And the ball game.
On the squeeze play here.
He'll go safety squeeze, he'll go suicide squeeze, or he'll go the traditional way. That one's hit on the air to left, caught on the line by Ritchie. Throw to the plate is coming, what a throw! They gun down the runner at the plate. It's a breaking ball hit the other way. That might be trouble. Long run, Morlock can't make the diving catch, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coming around to score will be the courtesy runner Young easily, and around to third on an RBI triple is Jordan Baca, and the Hawks are on the board first.
What a swing by Baca. Tough play out there in right field. He tried his best, gave it a go by diving, but then he allowed the triple too.
Wow, that was a bomb there. That's a home run. Wow. Man, oh man. Elijah Castaneda with the home run. Deep shot to left field. Wow, beautiful hit there.
They're at first and second. Burton wraps to third. He's going to step on the bag for one. Flip across to first. There's a double play to end the inning. End the game. Poetic justice for the Hawks. Here's a 1-0. That's back up the box, and it's lined and caught at second by Gonzalez.
Runners on first and second for the Rams. There's a shot, and that one's Gonzo. 3-1 shot by Keona King.